Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel Gannon, and we're back here with episode 2 of my podcast, Real Estate Ruckus. I've got a few agents with me here that are on our wonderful team of ladies in the broker, well, lady-dominated brokerage, right? We've got a couple of guys. They put up with us, but we're definitely heavy on the estrogen here at Local Roots Realty. So hopefully everybody's on board with that. We are just going to have a little session here and talk about kind of how we all came about and how we all connected and how we all ended up at this lovely brokerage here together. So I'm going to start with Rhonda, let her introduce herself and tell her story.
I am Rhonda Partin Johnson, 27-year veteran of real estate. I am the property management director here at Local Roots. I do sell real estate as well as property management.
Hi, Lyndsey Jones. I've been in the business itself for a little over 10 years, commercial first, then came into residential, and I've always been in the area.
Hey, Kirby O'Brien. I've been licensed since 2014. I focus on residential. I sometimes tag along PM World with this gem right here. That's a lot of fun, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm very happy that you're all here. Yay! So you guys were already a family and moved over here, right?
Yeah.
So you guys were all over at another brokerage. We have 2 other agents here with us that also came over from that same brokerage.
Yep.
And there's a reason why you all ended up here. So if you want to tell.
There is a reason. Some changes happened in our previous brokerage that a lot of agents didn't like. There's a pretty big exodus there. I actually was not friends with Rachel. Rachel was a tenant of mine while she was redoing her mini mansion here in St. Anne's Hill.
Gorgeous house.
And I knew that she owned the Local 937, and then I saw that it was closing and she was opening a brokerage at about the same time. I was like, I'm done. And so I reached out to Rachel, and she panicked and thought something was wrong. And we had a conversation.
I'm getting evicted.
Yeah, that's what she thought. Yeah. And we had a conversation, and I asked her if she had a property manager, if she wanted one. And
I think I said, you said, do you want to do property management? And I'm pretty sure I said, fuck no.
Yeah, I think you did. And
I had done it before, and I 10 out of 10 did not recommend.
And you said, oh, do you want to do it? And I'm like, oh, I do it. And she's like, I know. And so we started a conversation. Moving property management is it's a labor. It takes a lot to move companies. So it's
right.
3, yeah. And
you were worth the wait.
Thank you. And so I went in talks, and some other people went in talks, and Kirby's husband, Adam, is one of our 3 men here. Yeah, 3. And he's my right hand in property management. You'll get to meet him on another episode. And I talked to him about what I was doing and what he wanted to do, and he said he was making the move, and that made Kirby come along. And Lyndsey got wind of us, and she came along, and then we have one other that came with us, Sarah Clay. Yeah, and she didn't want to not be a part of us. So here we all are.
Not as on camera shy as the rest of us,
Yes.
I think. But yeah, I think it worked out great. I mean, clearly you guys all had a great relationship together at the other brokerage, and when one leaves, it's kind of like, those lunches and get-togethers aren't the same when there's certain pieces missing. So the fact that we got everybody over here together is kind of amazing.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Dynamics got to be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's cool, those early days of when we were switching over. I think I made the switch first. I ended up just going for it. I was maybe the most hesitant, and then I don't know, I just knew it was right. And I had an open house scheduled, and I just told myself, after this open this weekend, I'm out. So I made the jump. It was a little nerve-wracking, but shortly after you all came along,
Lyndsey came second, I think.
Yeah,
Or
You
maybe
and Adam came together.
I think
you were
so.
first, we processed you first.
Probably, yes.
Ladies first.
I'm first.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's what's cool is in those early days of starting up and pivoting and all the things, we had a lot of dining room table sessions.
We did.
And
At Kirby's house.
at my house,
Yeah.
and Rachel would pop in, and we had a whiteboard, and we made lists, and we
Systems.
systems, and we connected with people who we were already connected to. But I guess it clicked with me like, oh, these are my connections. I wasn't just depending on a brokerage to connect me and
Yep.
all that thing, and it all just kind of came together organically.
Yeah. For my transition, I had to wait till some closes were finished and stuff like that. So it took me a little longer I knew I was moving, but like the timing of everything was important.
Yeah.
So it took me a little longer just because of timing.
Not that they did it or would do it, because that's the thing. When you say you're going to leave, unless they okay it, they can say, hey, you can't talk to your clients anymore.
Yeah.
Because the contract is with us.
Yep.
So that's something else that's really important to think about. If you ever decide to make a change in real estate, you have to have your ducks in a row that are all of your transactions and all of your clients cared for, that if you got pulled out of the mix, that they're not going to be high and dry. I mean, obviously they would assign somebody to take care of them, but who wants to do that when you've already built the trust and the rapport?
Your clients don't want that.
No.
They
And
trust
most
us.
brokerages don't
They
do that.
trust
Some of them
you.
they can.
They
And
can.
you always have to be prepared for it.
Yeah. So I think when I switched, I had one client actively selling, and
You had to buy them out.
I had to buy them out, and I just did it because it was what was best for my clients. It's what they wanted, and
Right.
it was okay.
Well, and your buyers and sellers are usually married to you, not
Right.
to the brokerage.
Yeah.
Like my buyers and sellers don't know Rachel as the broker.
Right. As
They know
much as
me.
we love Rachel and
Yeah,
we're
they don't
team
know her.
Rachel,
Yeah.
our people don't know
Our
Rachel.
people are our people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's one of the things that I love the most is, except for Sunday mornings, if you call Rachel anytime, she usually answers the phone. She doesn't.
That's just for you.
She doesn't.
That's not true. She answers for all of us.
She doesn't deny your call and like never call you back or send you a text and tell that she's too busy. She is available for us. She talks to us. She listens to us. And that was a thing that I struggled with before, because when I call, I typically
Need an answer.
Find out I will text.
Yep.
Like if the kids are screaming,
Yes.
that I am not going to do that to you and answer the phone and make you listen to that. I will text you and just say, hey, do you need me to call you back, or is there something we can do through text, because it's chaos right now, because my house is chaos. And I do try to answer the phone.
you do a very good job of that.
I try.
You do. One of my favorite things in the moving process was, outside of Kirby's table meetings, the other table meetings we had around different establishments around town on
Our
Wednesdays,
secret
Thursdays.
lunches for a
Yes,
while.
we were
Our
meeting.
bar crawls.
Yes, that's what it was.
It was
So,
good times.
It was.
Maybe we should do that again and just kind of
I think-
pretend like we're going somewhere.
I think we should, because
We
what,
can pretend like we're leaving you, but not leaving you.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
what happened was, at one of the
Maybe we
places,
should just go to the bar.
Yeah.
one of the places we would meet, there are a couple of agents at another brokerage that I
Yeah.
know that are oftentimes at this place. And he, about the third weekend, finally said, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, just
Do
some,
you want that lady?
I'm doing some real estate, just some real estate stuff. And he's like, yeah, but what is it? What are you doing? And so people in those places noticed us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
that sort
remember
of
that.
thing. So,
I remember that guy.
And then I just start coming in with sunglasses and a hat
Yeah.
on, so then the jig is up.
it's up. So
It, as hard as it was leaving was, I guess, a breakup for me in that time. But the second I met Rachel, it was just, this is what
This is
what
it.
I'm doing.
This is
This
it.
makes sense to me. This is where my business needs to grow. I have the freedom now to run things how I want to, which ultimately gives my clients the best version of me.
Absolutely.
And that's been really empowering this whole year of growth and changes.
And I mean, with my previous brokerage selling to a national brokerage, and I thought, I mean, I knew I was getting divorced that last year, but I didn't know I was getting two divorces.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was getting divorced, and then I had to divorce my old
You
broker.
broke up with your broker.
But then my other divorce drug on to the next year. I wanted to be able to say I got two divorces last year, but it didn't work out. So I've had a divorce per year the past 2 years. So that's like the next best thing.
It's wonderful.
You do have a
great for me.
extra shenanigans.
So proud.
you still have a great relationship with your prior broker.
I do.
He encouraged you to do this, to go grow and to do something.
Well, he definitely didn't want me to go. He definitely tried to get me to stay, but he ultimately understood why I needed to. And it's not contentious, you know. It's he's supportive and happy for me, and
That's awesome.
has always said that if anything goes sideways, you can always come back. And I said, you know, this is like the only good thing going for me right now, so we're gonna stick with it and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like he made a business decision and then respected that you made yours.
Your own.
And I love that. And I've never heard you talk negative about that. And you've always talked super highly about him. So that's pretty cool.
And he's great,
Yeah.
absolutely great. And you know, I learned a lot from him, and I got set up to. I wouldn't be where I am now without him, because he taught me a lot of things. He helped me with leads. He helped me with getting into flipping, and I'd be on the street somewhere probably without him, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yep. I owned my own brokerage before I went to a
Sorry, the air came on back here. It was a little
I thought there was a spider. I was like, I'll get it. Where is it?
hard feeling. Okay, moving on.
I owned my own brokerage, and the brokerage that I left, he pursued me for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it took quite a while for me to make the decision to go there. And there's a lot of things I don't like after I got there. The one thing that I like the most is the relationships that I built there. Even some of our colleagues that went to other brokerages, we are still just very good friends with, and we can talk to them and lean on them. And
They will answer the second we call.
Yeah.
I was gonna piggyback off of Rachel saying, you know, your first brokerage kind of like helped you, and you didn't know where you would be. It's kind of how I feel about. So the last place we were was my first residential brokerage, and for me, it taught me a lot. It taught me.
Sorry,
how
we got
to-
certified mail.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be sued.
God, I hope not.
Will you bring that over here?
But yeah, my first brokerage just taught me a lot, right? And it taught me from the ground up. And then, you know, knowing when it's time to move and change is important. Is it? It's great.
Breaking news.
Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, I'm just like the transition from old to here has been fantastic and necessary to grow and be who I feel like I need to be for my people. So yeah, it's been great.
Well, like I said, I'm very glad that everybody's here, and I think it's a good dynamic here that we have. We're a good time. If we're ever on a pub crawl and you get to the table next to us, get prepared to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Carry on.
We do.
And I wanted to do a rant and rave session.
Yeah.
On a couple of things. Now we all love real estate, but I love a good rant about real estate. This is my pet peeve. Let's talk about it because it's annoying. But then, you know, and it's always lighthearted, you know, it's annoying, but am I going to, you know, stomp my feet and cry over it? No, but am I going to get hopped up on it and rant to, you know, make you guys laugh? Yeah, for sure. So, but we also want to couple that with something that we love about real estate. So I think we want to discuss something that has come up lately a lot that is a pet peeve of all of ours, and I'm sure a lot of other agents. And then we're going to finish with everybody's favorite thing about real estate. And so today, I want to talk about the call or the text. Why is the seller selling? I know buyers probably ask this. And I know that the buyer agent asks because the buyer asked them, or sometimes the buyer's agent might just ask it for fun. But let me tell everybody definitively, the reason why a seller has chosen to put their home on the market is nobody's business. None. At all. At all. And I'm always torn between saying that. Obviously, I answer that very diplomatically, or if it's coupled with other questions, I'll just ignore it completely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, do you want me to be like, oh yeah, well, they lost their job and then their husband left and then their dog died, so they can't stay there anymore. Whole good old fashioned country song happening to this person right here. And now they have to leave the home that they loved. And this is actually traumatic and terrible for them. Are you glad that you have that information?
And they want that business out there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to have permission to disclose that.
My biggest thing is it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Why does it matter? So they're having a financial hardship. So that doesn't mean your buyer's going to get the house for any less.
Yep.
Or because they're moving out of state. There's no good reason for that. And when my buyers want to know, I'm like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
And when I sell your house, what do you want me to tell them?
Yeah.
Because you hate how your windows open. You don't want me to say
You
that.
hate your neighbor.
Yeah. That's not.
I get that question a lot from investors I work with. They want to know why the seller is selling an investment property. And I'm like, they think it's going to help in the details of their offer, but it really doesn't, because the offer has nothing to do with the reason why they're selling most of the time doesn't have anything to do with, how many inspection days you want or the things that are in an offer. So it really doesn't matter. So it's none of their business.
Yeah. None of their business.
I think it gets me the most when it's the only question. So
yeah,
because that has happened, especially recent.
There are a couple agents
with an
that's
agent.
all they just call or text
Like
and
I watched a podcast that told them to ask that question.
Yep.
We're not
Yeah.
do that. Don't
it's
do it.
not the clients asking. Of course, they're going to ask a million questions. It's our job to navigate them through that.
Yeah.
It's when a licensed professional calls and that is the only question you had.
Yeah.
There was no prep or.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's
Or a house
interesting.
that was like on
Puzzling.
the market and sold and was a mess and then turned around and put back on the market 6 months
It's
later.
obviously a flip.
And it's a flip. And it's like, why is the seller selling?
It's a flip.
Look at the history.
Oh, yeah.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yep. Because the
little-
work was done.
Yeah.
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 A little few clicks on the MLS will tell you a lot.
And it's just nobody's business. It really is nobody's business why a seller is selling.
Yeah.
Even if it is a flip to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Right. And that's okay.
They got a divorce and she can't bear to live there anymore. That's not something the seller needs to put out. Like that, as you as an agent have to have permission to disclose anything anyway.
Right.
That was going to be my next point.
Yeah, but also like
at a brokerage that we were at, that was a question on
Some
a
of our
form.
prep papers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, why are you selling? And I don't think my sellers ever put in there why. I mean, it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
Like Rachel said, it's a dumb question. Don't ask.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they have to have, you as an agent have to have verbal or written acceptance of telling those things out to the public anyway. You
Anything.
can't just say it because you want to.
Yeah.
Your license is in jeopardy at that point. You have to do what your clients want you to do.
well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And typically, if the seller wants somebody to know, we put it in either the description of the property, or we have a section for agent only remarks that other agents can see, and we say it. And in the last one that I got, that was actually why is your seller selling? It was in the agent only remarks on why they were selling.
You're like,
So-
see MLS.
Yeah, people need to read that. Read your agent notes.
Yeah.
Read your agent notes.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you'll see that a lot. Like somebody's getting, we're a heavy military town, they're getting relocated. They'll put that in there.
Yep.
And I ranted about this on TikTok, and one of the comments from somebody that was like, well, that's terrible that you wouldn't disclose that, because if there's something wrong, they have to tell you. And it's like, that's not
Different.
what we're talking about.
That's too separate.
Okay, so if there's something wrong and they can't afford to fix it, so they're going to sell, that would be something in the disclosure.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fact that that's why they're selling is still nobody's business as long as defects are properly disclosed. So don't come at me with that either.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Nobody's business. So
Okay, good rant.
yeah. I didn't get as hopped up as I thought I was.
It's because we've already been hopped up about it.
I know. We've had
No,
many
we just
discussions.
revisiting. You should have been here for the first round. I was like,
Well, so the funny story that kind of brought this to light was I got an actual phone call and left a voicemail that said, "Hey, this is so and so. Why is your seller selling?" And I'm like, "What?
Why is that a question?
I'm like, that's your question on
That's
this
where
property?"
that's my whole thing is when it's the question.
Yeah. And then I didn't say anything. And usually I say everything to this group of people right here. I didn't say anything. And like 2 days later, Rachel sends in the group text, why is this person asking why I'm selling this house? And I just sent back, is it so-and-so? And she's like, how do you know? And I'm like, I got the same question 2 days ago. And that same person has asked me on 2 more of my properties now. And I'm not answering. He knows my answer.
I had an additional one ask that question, not the same repeat offender, but same brokerage. So it's
Same,
like,
I did too. Yes.
Is this like
Yeah.
like you said from a
Is the
previous
brokerage
incident
training? Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Find another question.
Add training.
I would rather the agent call and say,
Like,
will
maybe
your
in
seller?
in between a few questions and
Yeah.
maybe just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't let it be a solo.
The
Yeah.
question.
Solo ask.
I don't love it. Period.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I would prefer you lead with, is your seller firm on this price?
exactly.
That's going to get some dialogue going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, for sure. For
Is
sure.
there any wiggle room?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Hello,
question.
sir.
I put that in response a lot. It's a property sitting there. I'm like, yes, there's wiggle room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Answer the question. You don't even have to ask.
Bring me an offer.
Give me an offer.
And I mean, this is probably a rant for another day, but if the buyer wants to offer something that's ridiculously low, it's like, okay, you got to present everything, but make a phone call first.
Yeah.
You take
Right.
20 minutes to write the offer, call the agent and say, hey, they want to offer this. Would it even at least get a counter? Would you,
Mhm.
and I especially if it's my flip or one of my, hey, they want to offer this, and they'll say, don't even bother writing that.
Nope.
Or I would probably at least counter that.
Mhm.
So there's, it's communicating, but let's communicate about things that matter.
That are going to get deals done.
Yeah, exactly. We're not just, just sitting around drinking coffee talking about nonsense.
Or
We
wine.
don't have time for that.
Yeah.
That's for the next one.
Yeah.
Kirby, favorite thing about real estate?
On the spot.
Okay, so are we talking like in like
Your favorite thing.
Just anything.
Top of
so
the
my
head.
nerdy favorite thing is I like doing numbers in front of people with my clients, like talking out numbers.
I would
That's
have
cool.
I would have thought you would have said making sure the contract's right.
Well,
That too.
that's also a nerdy thing of mine, but
Or I
no,
squish.
I really like have fun with the math. Like when we are in it, especially with investors, we are down to the penny, and there's all the things, and I don't know, it's become my favorite. Like in those moments where you're crunching numbers and you're figuring out, does this make sense?
I love
Because
that.
the first offer that comes in might look great, but then when you start getting to the what do we actually want,
Mhm.
that's where it matters.
Yep.
That the number is where that's what matters.
Yep.
So it's just become my favorite.
Love that.
I like that. I like that. What about you, Lyndsey?
I think my favorite part of real estate is that no transaction is ever the same. Like literally
Ever.
ever. I've never had one transaction that's like, oh, that's happened before. I mean, maybe that's happened before, but like there's always nuances to every single one where it's not like anything that you've experienced before. So keeping me on my toes, keeping me really communicative with my clients is
That's a whole
important,
podcast.
right?
That's a whole
Communication is the next couple down the road, right? But I think that's my favorite part, just because I come from the service industry before real estate, so like talking to people like that you don't know and having to be comfortable immediately, or it's just awkward. And so learning people too, as well as just making sure that you're doing what they need and not what you need. So because of that aspect, nothing's ever the same.
Never, ever, ever.
Rhonda,
So
tell me what you love most about property management. I'm just kidding. Or just real estate.
but it's the same answer.
Okay.
And so I'm brutally honest. And so like I expected somebody to say the connection.
Yeah.
Mine's getting to the closing table, rather it's lease signing or closing a deal.
Yeah.
For two reasons. I get paid on both of those when the lease is signed and when I make it to the closing table. And have I built a relationship up to that point? I have.
Yes.
But that's what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
It's money. It's money.
Gotta make that money, honey.
Gas is expensive right now. I drive an SUV. You know, I don't go out and show houses for fun.
It is the work you put in
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
So,
And the challenges that you face getting there, like, oh, I got a commission check today. This is great.
Yeah, because there's always a challenge, even if it's a pretty smooth deal. There's something.
and
Yeah.
if you have a very smooth deal, you know that you will pay dearly.
You were just waiting for it.
Yeah, that was your unicorn that
Yeah.
year.
I had two last month, and I'm paying dearly.
Yeah.
This month.
I witnessed one of hers, and I'm like, how do deals go like this?
Yeah.
Buyers like sellers, sellers like buyers. Everybody's laughing at the closing table, and I'm like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah.
This doesn't. Sometimes I have to not have buyers and sellers at the same closing
So
table.
then I am
yeah.
paying dearly.
Yeah. Okay.
I never do anymore, just mostly because of scheduling wise.
Yeah. Round table is hard
Honestly,
sometimes.
It's
Yeah.
it is.
It's
And if
kind
there's
of-
been tension, it's not fun.
Well, though that's a no, but
And now you.
My favorite thing
Yes.
about real estate is when I have somebody call me. I do mostly listings. I do work with buyers, and I love working with a first-time home buyer. It's fun. They're extra work. It can be a little exhausting because you're literally starting from scratch and teaching them everything. But how excited they are at the end makes everything worth it.
Very
you know?
cool. Yeah.
And they get their keys, and like somebody's crying. It's very cute. But what I love more than anything is the phone call that I probably don't answer, let to go to voicemail, and then listen to the voicemail that says, hey, I found you on Zillow. I found you on Facebook. My friend told me to call you. I need to sell my house and you come highly recommended. That's my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Yep.
So, and then meeting with them, getting the listing, whether they're interviewing other agents or not. I mean,
Yep.
it's when you know they've interviewed other agents and you still get
still
it,
win.
like,
that's
yep.
the best. That's
Extra zing.
yeah.
Yep.
I agree. That's one of my favorites too. Now that you said it out loud.
It's like winning.
Yeah.
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 A couple over here, they bought a house on High Street from me a couple years ago. Met them at the open house, but they already had a buyer's agent, and they bought it with me, and then I sold their house. Or they bought it with their agent, and then I sold their house, and then she's referred to me, and that's the fun part.
Yep.
That's the fun part. And then, like, now that I'm living around the corner, I can walk down with a bottle of wine one afternoon and just be like, hey, let's have some porch drinks. So I make new friends. It's fun. So, but I think that's it. Thank you for anybody who sat through all of that. We'll be doing it again with a different subject and a different rant and a different rave. And so working on the tagline, right?
Yes.
For the brokerage.
What is it?
Thank you for joining us. I'm Rachel Gannon with Local Roots Realty, your Dayton grown, woman owned, community focused real estate brokerage.
That's right.
Contact information will follow after the end of the video, and give us a call. Let us sell your house or rent your house or
Let's
find
do
you a place
business.
to live. Let's do some business. Let's get some checks and make some relationships.
Yes.
Yes.